just days before the French election, then candidate Emmanuel Macron's emails were hacked. Had to be Russia, right? NSA Director Michael Rogers, he went before the Senate's Armed Forces Committee, and he testified that the U.S. saw the Russians penetrate French systems. The Register gave us a headline that said, just so we're all clear on this, Russia hacked the French elections. U.S., Republicans, and Dems as well, but they only released Macron and Clinton's files. The New York Times, Wired, Reuters, The Telegraph, and virtually every other corporately owned media outlet went into a frenzy. The Russians did it to Hillary, now they're doing it to France, and they're just doing it so they can prop up a pro-Russian candidate. WAPO, they were quick to jump on the story. They published an op-ed that slammed WikiLeaks and called the hacking a Cold War by the 21st century means. But now, news is breaking that the head of France's government's cybersecurity agency said that there's absolutely no trace of Russian hacking in Macron's campaign. The hack was so simple that just about anybody could have done it anywhere. The AP, they reported the story, and a few outlets picked it up and published it. Washington Post, they picked up the story, but it's nowhere to be found on their front page. The New York Times, they didn't push the story at all. But you can still find a headline on their front page that says Putin hints at role of Russians in U.S.'s election meddling. Putin, all he said was that private citizens could have participated in a hack. But the corporate media, they're really not reporting on this story. Likewise, you don't see anybody in the corporate media holding Big Pharma or, say, Monsanto accountable for their actions. Monsanto even had an EPA manager working on their behalf to shut down an investigation into Roundup. But that really didn't make a dent in the mainstream media. Why would that happen? Well, because it's all about ratings and clicks, but more importantly, keeping their advertisers happy. You see it every commercial break. It's got some asinine drug ad. And I sure as hell have seen a ton of Roundup ads on TV. So do you really think that the news is going to report when one of their advertisers' products causes cancer or has a terrible side effect? That's a rhetorical question. The answer is no. But when an organization like the Ring of Fire stands up to these corporate monsters and the media that they command, we're the ones that get called fake news. We're the ones getting called Russian propaganda. But I'm here to tell you, we don't take our directions from the corporate world. There's not an advertiser out there that's going to keep us from going after the truth. The corporate media, they're certainly not going to go after somebody like NXIVM, but you can sure as hell bet we will. ABC News hasn't even reported on NXIVM since 2011. But more and more information continues to pour in. There are great people out there like Thom Hartmann, our own Mike Papantonio as well. And they're not going to let you forget that the drug, NXIVM, could cause kidney failure. But to find powerful voices like Pap or Thom Hartmann or Ed Schultz, you're going to have to turn to independent media, sites and channels that don't give a rat's ass about pissing off any advertisers. The company that gives you NXIVM, AstraZeneca, they spend over $1 billion in advertising annually. Do you really think that MSNBC and ABC, you really think that they're going to want to piss off AstraZeneca and maybe cost that $1 billion in advertising? But of course, I get it. We're the fake news. Places like RT America and Ring of Fire, The Intercept, we're all bringing you the stories that the corporate media is not going to bring you because we're only concerned with the truth, not some advertiser's dollars. But I get it. You heard James Clapper or NPR or Emmanuel Macron call RT a pro-Trump Russian-funded propaganda arm. I mean, those folks, they're never going to look for a political scapegoat for anything at all, right? Look at it, though. Let's look at this on the face. RT America is full of anti-Trump, anti-corporate progressives. But that doesn't stop somebody like the Washington Post from saying the station seemed to have a preference for Trump in the run-up to the 2016 campaign. Yeah, Pap preferred Trump. That doesn't really sit well with me when the Washington Post says something like that. Of course, that may be a little like me saying the Washington Post seems to have a preference for shilling for the CIA about anything with WikiLeaks. But the point here is we aren't Russian propaganda. We just aren't going to bow to some damn advertiser. RT America is giving somebody like Pap and Tom Hartman and Ed Schultz, they're giving them an outlet to tell the truth. I'm not going to apologize for that, and they sure as hell won't. So if you want to troll us for some imaginary Putin connection, that's fine. But we're just going to keep telling you the stories that corporate media won't tell you. And if you want to be in the dark about that, that's your problem.
If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you've done all those things, please check out all the videos below. Stay up to date with everything we do here at Ring of Fire.